Good day, folks. Wherever you are around the world, it's great to welcome you back to my channel. I am starting a series on faith, and so today is going to be the first message. Faith is one of the absolute foundations. It's the fundamentals of the Christian walk. Understanding faith is a little bit harder, and not everybody has a good understanding. So what I want to do is I want to take the great faith chapter, Hebrews 11, and I want to slowly work through it. And so I'm starting today with the verse that really defines what faith is, which is Hebrews 11 verse 1, which says, "Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see." I want to start with saying what faith is not, because sometimes it's easier to get rid of all the stuff that is not, which may be at the forefront of people's minds, before we get on to really coming up with a definition or actually zoning into what Hebrews 11:1 says faith is. Faith is not wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is just that. It's hopeful, without any specific factual basis for the hope. For example, wishful thinking would be, it would be great if I won the lottery. Wouldn't it be great? It would be so great. That's wishful thinking. The chances of me winning the lottery are so low. Faith is not mind over matter. Some people these days believe that if you just really put your mind to it, then you can make it happen. And that's not what faith is. You see, God is never impressed with human effort. And so it would be in the area of determined thinking. That is not what impresses God. Have you ever seen these guys who can bend spoons and knives and things, and they use just the power of the mind? I mean, that stuff fascinates me. But that is not what faith is. It's not just mind over matter. Coming more to what maybe Christians might think faith is not positive confession. You see, positive confession, which is just speaking out positive things and thinking positive thoughts, it can take a number of forms, such as dwelling and speaking out these positive things. And you know what? While it's good and admirable, and I believe that the Bible is in favor of that, it does not describe faith. Positive confession can be seen sometimes as a way to describe or to shape the future by pronouncing positive and good outcomes before they happen. I'm sure you know people who use vision boards. There's nothing wrong with a vision board. Vision boards are great, and I think they can be very useful. But the Bible teaches us also to speak and be positive and not dwell on the negative, but that's not what faith is. Faith is more than just confidence. You know, confidence is when I back myself in what I believe. I got a motorcycle license when I was 18 years old. So that's a good few years ago. Let's leave it at that. And you know, I haven't ridden a motorcycle for probably over 30 years. However, this is my confidence that if you brought me a motorcycle, I would be totally confident to get on that motorcycle and just ride off. No worries. I know that I have confidence in my ability and my memory and my muscle memory and all of that. I could get on a motorcycle and I could ride, not a problem. Faith is also not just assurance. It's more than that. Assurance is where there's something of weight and substance that has been confirmed to be in line with your idea. So, for example, you know, let's say that I'll take my wife. She is a very good public speaker, but she hates it. Man, she hates it. And you know, she becomes like a nervous wreck, a bag of nerves every time she's about to speak to a crowd. And I can assure her, I can tell her, it will be fine. You will do well. And you know what? She always does, and it goes well. But that is not faith. So then, what is faith according to the book of Hebrews 11 verse 1? Well, it says that it's being sure of something. You know, when you are sure of something, there is no doubt. There is no room for wriggle room. There is no doubt. There is no swaying. There's no vacillating, no second thoughts, not a moment of hesitation. It is absolute certainty. Faith is a place where there is zero doubt of any kind in your mind. I love the story. I've used it a few times before when I've preached. When I'm trying to describe faith, there was a tightrope walker who did an incredible aerial walk across a tightrope. And all over Paris, he would do these acts where he would scale tremendous heights and walk across. And he would then do it blindfolded. And eventually he would go across the rope blindfolded, pushing a wheelbarrow. And an American promoter read about this in the newspapers and wrote a letter to the tightrope walker. And he said, "Tightrope," that's what he called him, "I don't believe that you can do it, but I'm willing to make you an offer for a very substantial amount of money, as well as all your transportation fees. I would challenge you to do your act over the Niagara Falls." So Tightrope wrote back. He said, "Sir, I've never been to America and seen the falls. I'd love to come." Well, there was a lot of promotion and setting the whole thing up, and people came from all over the place to come and see the event. And Tightrope was going to start on the Canadian side and come across to the American side. So drum rolls, and he comes across the rope, which is suspended over the most treacherous part of the falls, blindfolded. And he makes it across easily, and the crowds go wild. And he comes to the promoter and he says, "Well, Mr. Promoter, do you now believe that I can do it?" "Well, of course I do. I just saw you do it." "No," said Tightrope. "Do you really believe I can do it?" "Well, of course I do. You just did it." No, said Tightrope. "Do you believe I can do it?" "Yes," said Mr. Promoter. "I believe you can do it." "Great," said Tightrope. "Then get in the wheelbarrow." And this is the crux of faith. It is a certainty. It is so much so that you are prepared to put your everything into the wheelbarrow because you just have confidence. More than you have faith, you have that certainty that this guy can take you across in a wheelbarrow. So it is the certainty of what we hope for. That's what Hebrews 11:1 says. It's the certainty of what we hope for, which is what the gospel is all about. It's what gives us hope. God so loved the world, and he will keep his covenant. And for all of us, one day we'll come to see him face to face. That's the hope of the Christian. In number form, it's not 99.999%. It is 100%. That's what faith is. It is certainty of what we do not see, but what we believe through the Holy Spirit who witnesses in us. Faith is being 100% sure of what God says is true. It's taking what God said and getting into the wheelbarrow over the Niagara Falls and say, "Come on, let's go." That's what faith is. So I love this verse in Hebrews 11:1, and may your faith grow every day as you spend time with the invisible God who reveals himself by faith to the hearts of those who love him. And may God bless you.